possibly feed, house, and clothe this ever-growing population without taking from future generations their opportunity to enjoy this glorious planet. And I find it pretty spectacular, without and being able to enjoy it in a similar way than we've been enjoying. So I'm going to talk with you a little bit about our motto at the Rainforest Alliance, what we do, and then highlight one of our projects with very concrete results thus far in terms of economic benefits, environmental and social benefits for a community in Guatemala de Petén, and a model that we are working to bring to Central Africa, to Southeast Asia, and so on. So our vision, very similar to the ideals that we are discussing here, is to help to build a sustainable economy, a sustainable future for all of us. And the mission of the Rainforest Alliance is to, we're working to conserve biodiversity and ensure the livelihoods of local communities by transforming land use practices, business practices, and consumer behavior. So working throughout value chains, from developing standards for sustainable practices within the forestry, agriculture, and tourism sectors, working throughout the value chain with producers to adopt these standards, to embrace them when when appropriate, to get certified, and then working with companies from traders to brands to retailers to make meaningful commitments toward sustainability, toward their purchase of sustainable products, and really working in collaboration with a number of groups in the development of these standards. So for forestry, we're very focused on we're working within the forestry, agriculture, and tourism sectors. In forestry, working along with the Forestry Stewardship Council, and with agriculture, working in collaboration with our Sustainable Agriculture Network partners, a number of local NGOs in Latin America, Africa, and now opening up to new members in Asia as well. And in tourism, working with the UN Environmental Program and with many other groups to develop what today is the standards for global standards for sustainable tourism. Really, obviously, seeing these sectors being really key to halting deforestation and again, building a sustainable, responsible economy. Tourism, for example, can have a very positive as well as a very negative impact on local economies, cultures, and so on. Agriculture, one of the greatest causes of deforestation, and forestry as well, with a key role in the destruction or actually the protection of forests. So I find it interesting that often one assumes that it's better not to buy a forest product, or I've seen people be very proud about, I've found this great banana paper, which is fine, or I have bought a plastic table or a metal door, and being excited about that. And we need to show, we need to prove that there is more value for a forest standing than a forest cut down, Otherwise, that forest is going to become a parking lot or some kind of housing development and so on. So it's really important, and we're going to see I'm going to be talking about an interesting model here where we see the value of sustainable forestry. So the issue is it's okay to buy furniture, to use wood, and to use paper, as long as it comes from certified sources, from Forestry Stewardship Council sources. Rainforest Alliance is also working with an education program, help kids learn math, science, geography through the lens of nature, helping them become better global citizens. And we're doing that in several countries, from Ghana to Colombia to Guatemala, US, and so on. And climate, everything that we do really is focusing on reducing deforestation and contributing to the halting of this trend of greenhouse gas emissions. And obviously, the finance sector has a really important role in what they do. So we're working both at a global level in contributing toward the discussion that will lead financial institutions to make their investments in the forestry agriculture sector in a way that promote sustainable practices and away from supporting unsustainable efforts. And also there is, like, we're seeing that there is a gap. There is a lot that we are hearing and wonderful efforts around microfinancing. And of course, there are a lot of large loan products and opportunities, but it's really that in between, the financial products appropriate for the small and medium-sized enterprises, farmers, and forest operations, that we're seeing that there is a void there, and we're contributing toward making those connections, working with local financial institutions and international ones as well. So the Rainforest Alliance, in terms of the scope of our work, we're working in 80 countries, so all those in the darker colors are the areas where we are working now, with 900,000 farms, and have protected 190 million acres of forest, working through that work that I mentioned with companies, like really encouraging a greater demand and pool of sustainable products as an incentive. It's all about the incentives, right? Financial incentives, economic incentives, and so on, for them to join our sustainable efforts and programs and stay with the programs. And so working with these companies, international, small, large, to help them incorporate sustainability into the core of their business. And through these efforts, 12% or close to 12% of all the tea in the world, 10% of the cocoa, close to 5% of the coffee, and about 3.5% of the banana in the international market come from sustainable sources. So this, we're talking about, what does that mean exactly? So we're talking about environmental benefits, no deforestation, no harmful chemicals, protection of water, no waste of water, no contamination of water, and also fair treatment for workers, fair salary, no violation of human rights, and so on. So if we looking here and thinking in terms of what's going on with deforestation, it's quite alarming, the rate of deforestation, and with about 36 million acres being lost every year, and also thinking that 17% of all greenhouse gas emissions is caused by deforestation. I don't know if everyone really realized that that's more than all transportation put together. So it's really for us to tackle climate issues, we really need to focus not only on energy issues, but also with deforestation. And of course, all the important ecosystem services and species lost and so on. So, major cause of deforestation, no secret to any of us. Palm oil being a major cause of deforestation, especially a leading one in Indonesia and Malaysia. Then cattle, one of the greatest causes of deforestation in the Amazon. And soy also contributing significantly to deforestation in the Amazon, and illegal logging that is responsible, or about 70 to 90% of extraction in countries like Gabon, Brazil, and Indonesia is illegal. And we're working, again, with standards and with changing practices on the ground, working with producers as well as companies to contribute. We're really excited that Carrefour just came out recently with a line of beef certified from Brazil, so beef that is not contributing with deforestation or climate change. And now, right now, you can find those in supermarkets in Brazil as well as in Sweden. And I'm going to talk about our case in Guatemala, which is really close to my heart. I think this is what really inspires us to do the type of work that we do. So this is the second largest contiguous rainforest in Latin America, and the home for about 500,000 indigenous people, of which about 68% are living under the poverty line. It's a really interesting and innovative concept where the government came in, and this was early 90s, and created this reserve where you see the protected areas in solid green on this map. On the stripes are the low impact activities, so these are multi-use zone activities, and then the buffer zone below them, where we've been working with about 12 communities, indigenous communities in the Petén, in these concession areas. And I'll be taking you through some of this work. But what the government did was required that these local communities could harvest the forest, and as long as it was certified under the Forestry Stewardship Council system. And we have been working with them. So the government did it, of course, to promote responsible forest management and ensure the protection of those forests, but allowing these communities to make a living, considering the importance of these resources for their livelihoods. And so I want to show you some really interesting, like if you're looking here, from 86 to 2007, it's the rate of deforestation in the Maya Biosphere Reserve. And it's really sad to see the extent of the deforestation in the protected area where no activities could take place. So really sad to see that by 2007, and this is continuing, like there is like about 13% of all this area has been deforested. But what was really interesting when we saw this study and this satellite pictures was that the concessions, the deforestation in the concessions was significantly less than deforestation in the protected areas, where actually nothing should have happened on paper. And what we saw, what we learned is that 20 times more deforestation is taking place in the protected area versus this multiple use zone. So obviously, these communities had an interest in keeping that forest standing. And that's the work, that's the model that is working here. We've been working with them since the early 90s. Oh, one more point here, forest fires. So you can see also a significant increase in the number of fires in the protected area and the buffer zone versus the multiple use concession areas here. And then, like, in looking at what we've been doing with these communities, we started helping them with improving their forest management, help them get certified. Then it started working with other products, started working with the ladies that were collecting shati so that they could collect them sustainably, and then link them with buyers in the US that were using those shati leaves for ornamental flowers for Sunday palm. And they loved the story, and that connection was made. We've been also working, connected them with gypsum, so that instead of selling the raw lumber to an intense a number of intermediaries, they built their capacity, they employed additional people, and they started actually producing guitar necks and selling directly to gypsum, making, in many cases, 40 times the income that they would make from the same amount of wood. So the same thing, we kept looking into other sources of income for them. How can they harvest chate, guano, pimiento, ramon, chicle, copal in a sustainable way? And then how can we link them with buyers that are supporting their sustainable practices and committed themselves to sustainability? So this has been a really exciting model, and the results of it is really significant. We're seeing 12 million in sales since 2007, 12 million in investments, 5,800 jobs created, and just, all around a really wonderful story. I must say, I asked Anna, the lady that actually trained all the community, all the other ladies in the other communities, what were they doing? What was the impact of this work to their lives? And she told me that they went from making zero income, the ladies themselves, to making $8 a day. And they were, for the first time, investing in health insurance and sending their girls to school. And I've met her many times, and many years later, she now can see the day that her girl, she just went to second grade, and her daughter will be able to go to college. So this is a positive economy. This is an exciting, inspiring project where we are seeing very concrete results. But is it enough? No, deforestation is still happening. We're still, 2 of the communities lost their certificate because of illegal practices and so on. So what else can we do? What's next? We looked at all of the deforestation that they avoided, and are working on a really exciting also example for other places in the world, where we're designing a RED Plus project where communities will be able to generate, well, they're showing the potential emissions that will be avoided through this project in a 20-year period, about 16 million tons of CO2 avoided. And we are in the final stages of the development of the design of this project that will generate another source of income to these communities and enable to reinvest, because the cost of protecting this area and making sure that fires don't, making sure that there are no fires or any illegal activities going on there is costly. So this will, again, bring in another source of income for these communities. So from Benedine, from the community, who, if you ever go to the Petén, try to go to Washacktun. This is, they are very proud, very committed, and really an example to the world of how much they fought to do the right thing for the environment and their people. So here he's saying, first, their economic benefits. Second, if we meet the objectives we have proposed, the community, we have proposed as a community, we will become relevant at a global level. And last, we would contribute to halting climate change by maintaining the equilibrium of this project. So moving right along, what can we do as individuals? So I'm going to show you a video and then answer further that question in just a couple of minutes, but I really wanted to share this with you.
You are a good person. You spend time with your family. You work out at the gym.
Come on, push, let's go.
You conserve water while showering. You like nice clothes. You give to charity. You recycle. You drive a Prius, but you use your bike when you can. You enjoy the occasional distraction at work. You always send a card on Mother's Day. Always. But there's a part of you that tells yourself that you're not so good, that you could be doing more, that the world is falling apart at the seams and all you've been doing is yoga. One day you see that the rainforest is being destroyed at a staggering rate of 32 million acres a year. That's the equivalent of one football field every 78 seconds. You feel bad, angry, guilty. You've been apathetic for too long. You want to do something about it. You must do something about it. Well, this is what you're not going to do.
I quit!
You're not going to quit your job, leave your family, get on the next flight to Nicaragua, take a bus to the edge of the jungle, and hoof it across channels, lakes, and streams on a quest to the very heart of the rainforest.
Take me to the heart of the rainforest.
You're getting closer. You're almost there.
You're not going to ingratiate yourself with local tribesmen, go to great lengths to earn their respect and trust.
Nope. No.
It's right around now you realize you're living out the ultimate gringo fantasy of becoming an honorary native and leading the resistant forces, like Lawrence of Arabia or that guy from Avatar. It's a cliche, but screw it. If they can do it, so can you.
I'm gonna save you! Guy comes over here, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna pull a zap thing, bats right through him, right over here.
You're not going to coordinate and occupy the rainforest movement. Realize it's hopeless, summon the power of the gods, resort to violence, lead a revolution against the deforesters and their multinational employers in an apocalyptic once-and-for-all battle to save humanity, only to awaken 2 days later at an El Salvadorian hospital with 2 toes missing on your left foot, endure further humiliation.
I wanna go home.
Hobble out of Central America, up through Mexico, across the Sierra Madre, where you break down, have your first cigarette in 4 years, accidentally start a wildfire, killing off what's left of the endangered species that once served as your occupational distraction. Finally make it back home, only to find you've been replaced at work by a guy named TJ, and that things at home aren't what they used to be. You're not going to do any of these things, but what you can do is follow the frog. Buying Rainforest Alliance certified products ensures the future of our rainforests, so that you don't have to do the things you shouldn't do anyway.
So that says what we can do. We can, as consumers, ask questions and really make choices to buy a product that we know what's the impact it is having in rainforests and community globally. And we can together build a sustainable future. Thank you.